1,000 interesting facts about everything. Are you ready? Then let's go. But before the start of the video, I'll ask you to subscribe to the channel and give me a T in advance. This is really very painstaking and extensive work that no one has ever done. Fact 801, in Britain a 3-year-old boy has independently mastered literacy and is fluent in 7 languages. We are talking about Theodore Hobbs. The child lives in the city of Portishead, located in the east of England. He can read not only in his native English, but also in 6 other languages: Welsh, Chinese, French and several others. Fact 802, a resident of the British town of Horsham went to jail because he called the Sussex County Police and ambulance more than 7,000 times since September 2020 and insulted the operators who answered his calls. Fact 803, the Buddhist temple of Injuan in Asakuchi houses a mermaid mummy. It is a creature with a frozen grimace of horror on its face, its mouth ajar and 2 hands clasped to its head. At the same time, the mummy has a tail. The mummy was found in a wooden box with a note. The text said that the mermaid was caught in a fishing net on the coast of Tosa Province, present-day Kochi Prefecture, between 1736 and 1741. Fact 804, before the invention of refrigerators in the 19th century, the United States was the largest exporter of ice. When transported, ice became more expensive as it melted. Fact 805, Berlin swimming pools were allowed to swim topless. The Berlin Senate Office for Justice, Diversity and Anti-Discrimination made the decision. It was made after a female pool goer complained that she was not allowed to swim topless, although the rules do not stipulate gender restrictions, the Senate explained. Fact 806, an unusually long tooth was extracted by a German dentist from one of his patients. The tooth is 3.72 centimeters long. Fact 807, the head of Tesla, SpaceX and Twitter, Elon Musk, is listed in the Guinness Book of World Records as the man who lost the most money in history. In November 2021, Musk's fortune was about $340 billion, but because of the sharp decline in Tesla stock and his $44 billion acquisition of Twitter, the entrepreneur's assets were valued at $137 billion. The loss amounted to $200 billion. Fact 808, the lighthouse Tower of Hercules in the city of La Coruña in Spain with a height of 57 meters was built during the Roman Empire and is the oldest working lighthouse in the world. Fact 809, you can dine with penguins in a Chinese restaurant. Residents of Chinese Guangzhou now have a new service, lunch with penguins. 12 exotic birds keep the company of diners at the restaurant. Fact 810, a particularly severe sneeze has been known to result in broken ribs, and in April 2007 a sneeze-induced spinal fracture was reported in England. Fact 811, a woman who survived clinical death recounted her post-mortem experience. Dr. Linda Kramer, according to medical records, was effectively dead for 15 minutes before she was resuscitated. During this time, she said, she spent 5 years in heaven. Fact 812, a mutant sheep has gone missing from a farm near the British town of Rothbury, Northumberland County. According to the 60-year-old owner, the 9-month-old sheep, nicknamed Scazzy, who has been voted by fans on social networks as Britain's ugliest sheep, may have been stolen because of her unusual appearance. Fact 813, for special services during World War II, the Mary Deakin Medal, Britain's highest military award for animals, was awarded to 32 homing pigeons, 18 dogs, 3 horses, and 1 cat. Fact 814, in Japan, the amount of unclaimed inheritance for the past fiscal year was $497 million, a record for the country. Experts attribute the rise in unclaimed inheritance amounts to an increase in the proportion of single elderly people and the rising price of real estate, which forms part of the inheritance. Fact 815, a Turkish Airlines plane on an Istanbul-Barcelona flight was forced to return to the departure airport because of an unpleasant odor of the tropical durian fruit in the cargo compartment. The durian fruit, which grows in Southeast Asian countries, has been described as hell on the outside, heaven on the inside, because of its peculiar smell. It is thought to be caused by the high sulfur content in the fruit's flesh, which oxidizes on contact with the air. Fact 816, on Mercury, a year lasts 88 days. While the planet is at perigee, the closest distance to the Sun, for about 8 days, its orbital speed exceeds the speed of Mercury's rotation around its own axis. Fact 817, a retired U.S. hen has lived more than 20 years, outliving her parents and some of her owner's other pets. She was recognized as the world's oldest living hen, according to the Guinness Book of World Records website. Fact 818, yellow cars are statistically twice as likely to be involved in accidents as cars of other colors. Fact 819, an elderly couple from Ecuador became the oldest married couple in the world. Their combined age is 214 years. Julio Mora is 110 and Valdramina Quinteros is 104. Fact 820, according to insurance companies, the number one cause of domestic injuries is stairs. Then come blast doors, cutlery, and in last place, oddly enough, electrical appliances. Fact 821, in Bolivia, a man got lost in the Amazon jungle and managed to live there for almost a month, eating worms and rainwater. Fact 822, the spider does not eat its prey, but literally drinks it, initially injecting its digestive juice into the victim's body. You could say that the digestive process in spiders takes place outside the body. Fact 822, there is a poisonous plant, Enant crocata, that brings a smile to its victim's face at the moment of death. Fact 824, climbing stairs on your head. No, this is not a joke or a figment of an exuberant fantasy. For most of us, standing on our heads would seem like a pretty serious test of our physical abilities, but clearly not for the Chinese gymnast Li Long, who managed to overcome 36 steps on his head. Fact 825, just as 4,000 years ago, 95% of the population of modern Egypt lives no more than 20 kilometers from the Nile. Fact 826, a German manufacturer of frying pans began to indicate on the label that his new cookware could be used to fight burglars. Fact 827, Walmart is the world's largest private employer with over 2 million employees. Fact 828, Joshua Walker from the United States tried to break 5 different basketball records over the course of a day, one of which was the longest distance shot. From a distance of 34.6 meters, he managed to put the ball straight into the basket. Fact 829, the blood of an eel contains poisonous substances called ichthyotoxins. They are dangerous only if they enter the bloodstream directly and are destroyed in the stomach or during cooking. Nevertheless, sushi is never made from raw eel. Fact 830, Ecuador began building buildings out of recycled cocaine. It is the first country in the world to use such technology. The reason for such innovations is that the amount of illegal substances seized has reached prohibitive levels. There is simply not enough space in police warehouses to store drugs. Fact 831, the first ENIAC computer, created in 1946, weighed 27 tons and took up an area of 167 m². A modern processor with a footprint of less than 1 mm too far exceeds it in performance. Fact 832, an amateur treasure hunter from Great Britain, 68-year-old Tony House, found 570 ancient pennies. They are called the worst money in England because they are poorly made and difficult to read. Fact 833, in 1939, American writer Ernest Vincent Wright published a novel, Gadsby. The novel consists of 50,000 words, none of which contain the letter E, the most frequent letter in the English language. Fact 834, an American woman decided to marry herself. The woman arranged a lavish marriage ceremony. We are talking about a 30-year-old US citizen named Danny. She married herself back in December of last year. The ceremony was attended by friends and acquaintances, including 9 bridesmaids. Fact 835, despite their creepy reputation, piranhas very rarely attack humans. However, in September 1981, when a boat capsized near the town of Obidos on the Amazon, according to witnesses, many of the 310 dead were not drowned, but were torn apart by piranhas. Fact 836, believe it or not, alien abduction and ghost hunting are the real excuses for the passes given to employers in 2022, said Alan Price, executive director of a British organization. Fact 837, in April 1972, the town of Calama in northern Chile, located in the cold Atacama Desert, experienced a thunderstorm with a downpour. It was the first rainfall in 400 years. Fact 838, now, German surfer Sebastian Stunner was able to conquer a wave 26.21 meters high in the same spot off the coast of Praia do Norte in Nazareth. Fact 839, on July 16, 1438, King Henry VI of England forbade kissing during an epidemic of plague. Fact 840, Israelis will be forbidden to have large sums of cash in their homes, both in shekels and in foreign currency. This is the requirement of the Internal Revenue Service. The bill will be considered in the country's parliament, the Knesset. Fact 841, just like in dogs, human saliva has bactericidal properties, which is why wounds in the mouth heal much faster than on the skin. Very little saliva is produced during sleep, and this allows the billions of bacteria in the mouth to multiply during the night. Your morning breath is the result of this multiplication. Fact 842, California resident Edwin Castro won a prize of $2.04 billion. The winner chose to receive his winnings in a single reduced payment of $997.6 million instead of receiving the larger amount in installments over 29 years. Fact 843, according to ladder accident statistics, the two first and last two steps are the most dangerous. Fact 844, a 60-year-old man decided to celebrate his anniversary in a special way and swam 38 miles down the Missouri in a huge 846-pound pumpkin. Inside the Big Bertha, that's what he called his boat, Dwayne Hansen walked the river for 11 hours, which ended up setting a new world record. Fact 845, the best-selling passenger car in the world is the Toyota Corolla. More than 40 million cars have been sold since 1966. In second place is the Volkswagen Golf, over 28 million since 1974. Fact 846, a baby born in the US in July 2020 was officially recognized as the world's most premature baby. A boy named Curtis Means was born in the US state of Alabama on July 4, 2020, at his mother's gestational age of 21 weeks and 1 day. He weighed only 420 grams at birth. Fact 847, the Sahara is more of a rocky desert than a sandy desert. Less than 30% of its area is sand. The Sahara covers 32% of the African continent, only 10% less than the United States. Fact 848, the winner of the title The World's Most Enduring DJ, Ray Cordero of Hong Kong, announced the end of his career at age 97. Fact 849, the world's largest living organism is the giant underground honeycomb Armillaria solidipes, growing in Mahler National Park, Oregon, USA. The mushroom is 2,400 years old and grows over an area of 6 kilometers. Scientists spent several years studying the DNA structure of the mushroom's fungus and fruiting bodies and came to the unequivocal conclusion that they all belong to the same organism. Fact 850, used unchanged for over 140 years, the 10 centime coin has the honor of being listed in the Guinness Book of World Records as the oldest coin in circulation in the world. Fact 851, during a supernova explosion, as much energy is released in a day as our sun produces in more than 1 billion years. Fact 852, an African-American man who mistakenly spent more than 20 years in prison has been released from prison in the United States. He will be compensated $1.3 million, reports USA Today. Fact 853, if you keep a goldfish tank in the dark, the fish will turn white. Fact 854, in India, the local government's Animal Welfare Board has called for turning the Western Valentine's Day holiday into Cow Hugging Day. Fact 855, ancient Rome built apartment buildings, insulae, that reached 8 stories in height. Fact 856, in the US state of California, a woodpecker made a hiding place in the wall of an apartment building, where he hid about 320 kilograms of acorns. Fact 857, only one case of hitting a person is officially registered on November 30, 1954, in Alabama, a meteorite of about 4 kilograms. Weight penetrated the roof of the house and ricocheted off the lady's arm. Fact 858, on the territory of a sanatorium in Zeleznovodsk in 2008 was installed the world's only monument to an enema. Fact 859, a 6-year-old boy from India, Arkham, Tanzania, made it into the Guinness Book of Records as the world's youngest programmer. Fact 860, in Hong Kong, it is illegal to drive a car barefoot, in slippers, or in sandals. Fact 861, a resident of Verona, Italy, sued his wife, who intended to become an internet celebrity. According to the spouse's lawsuit, the wife was so caught up in her dreams of popularity that she shifted all the care of her children to him. The South American woman is currently undergoing treatment with medication. Fact 862, the city of Ekibastuz in Kazakhstan has the world's tallest chimney, its height exceeds 420 meters. It is more than 100 meters taller than the Eiffel Tower. Fact 863, in Westminster Abbey, among the great poets, kings and abbots, is buried a certain Thomas Parr, who claimed to be over 150 years old. In 1635, he was invited to the palace of King Charles I of England, who wanted to know the secret of his longevity. After Parr died at the age of 152, William Garvey himself, who had discovered the blood circulation, was invited to autopsy the body. Garvey wrote a treatise on the results of the autopsy, in which he does not question Parr's age. Unfortunately, Parr's secret of longevity did not help Charles I. He was executed on January 30, 1649, at the age of 49. Fact 864, in Mexico, a Polish tourist climbed the steps of an ancient Mayan pyramid temple for selfies. The locals didn't like it and beat the man with a stick. Fact 865, the highest population density in the world is in the Principality of Monaco. With a population of 30,500 people, there are 15,250 inhabitants per 1 kilometer too. The lowest population density is in Mongolia, with only 2 people per square kilometer. Fact 866, in India, police interrogated a talking parrot to get valuable information about the whereabouts of a man suspected of smuggling alcohol. The interrogated feathered flatly refused to talk about the owner. Fact 867, the mass of 1 liter of hydrogen is only 0.09 grams. It is 13 times lighter than air and 11,000 times lighter than water. Fact 868, in New Jersey, a 29-year-old woman pretended to be a teenager and enrolled in school. The American woman provided the school authorities with false documents, according to which she was only 15 years old. The woman managed to study for 4 days, after which the deception was discovered. Fact 869, there are over 35,000 varieties of orchids, about 30,000 varieties of roses, and only 10,000 varieties of tulips. Fact 870, an episode of the Russian children's cartoon Masha and the Bear called Masha Plus Porridge entered the Guinness Book of World Records as the most popular animated video on YouTube. The episode was published on January 31, 2012 and has since been viewed more than 3.4 billion times. Fact 871, the first written mention of Kiev is contained in the so-called Letter of Kiev, a recommendatory document issued to Yaakov ben Hanukkah by the Jewish community of Kiev. The letter was written in the 10th century in Hebrew. Fact 872, retired American astronaut Edwin Buzz Aldrin married his longtime love on his 93rd birthday. The small, private ceremony took place in Los Angeles. Fact 873, in the 1936 World Table Tennis Championships, 2 opponents played the first serve for more than 2 hours. Fact 874, New Zealand has listed the names by which authorities have forbidden naming children in 2022. The list is provided by the local Ministry of Internal Affairs. As it is specified, the list includes such names as King, Messiah, and Saint. Fact 875, on August 6, 1661, Holland sold Brazil to Portugal for the rights to the island of Ceylon and 63 tons of gold in addition. Fact 876, the price of a royal suite at the Burj Al Arab Hotel in Dubai is $28,000 per night. Fact 877, the Hunza people in Kashmir, numbering about 35,000 people, never get cancer. The reason for this phenomenon is unknown to science. Fact 878, grape snails hatch from an egg already in its shell. Fact 879, the most powerful explosion of the pre-nuclear era occurred in the Canadian port of Halifax on December 6, 1917. The collision of the Norwegian ship Imo with the French military transport Mont Blanc, carrying 2,300 tons of trinitrophenol and over 200 tons of TNT, resulted in an explosion that almost completely destroyed the city. The explosion killed 2,000 people and injured 9,000. A total of 1,600 buildings in the city were completely destroyed and 12,000 were severely damaged. Fact 880, the jaws of man develop a force of 80 to 90 kilograms. The bite force of an African lion is 600 kilograms and that of a crocodile is over a ton. Fact 881, 80% of all fresh water on Earth is concentrated in Antarctic ice. Fact 882, powdered zirconium is self-igniting in air at room temperature. Fact 883, left-handed people have nails that grow faster on their left hand than their right hand. Right-handed people have the opposite. Fact 884, a 32 kilograms octopus can fit through a hole the size of a tennis ball. Fact 885, according to the University of Michigan, lightning is 6 times more likely to strike men than women. Fact 886, a spider in the house has been considered a good omen since the Great Plague of the 14th century. People believed that a spider web could catch the breath of the plague. Fact 887, more than 20,000 meteorites fall to Earth each year, most of which fall into the oceans. The existence of meteorites was not recognized by scientists until the early 19th century. In 1790, the Paris Academy of Sciences said that the fall of stones to Earth is an impossible phenomenon. Many museums in France removed meteorites from their collections so as not to make museums a laughingstock. Fact 888, in 1845, England passed a law making attempted suicide punishable by death. Fact 889, North American Indians used beaver teeth to make fighting knives. Fact 890, you can tell the age of a sperm whale about the same way you can tell the age of a tree, by sawing. Only it is not the sperm whale that is sawn, but its tooth. The number of layers of dentin, the inner, hard part of the tooth, will indicate how old the sperm whale is. Fact 891, the easiest way to tell a crocodile from an alligator is by its teeth. If a reptile's mouth is closed and you can still see its fangs, you are watching a crocodile. An alligator with its mouth closed has no teeth visible. Fact 892, sharks and elephants absolutely do not need the services of dentists. The first one has a spare tooth from the next row which replaces the missing one, while the latter's teeth grow back. It is interesting that despite all the external dissimilarity of these representatives of the animal world, the teeth of the shark grow in 6 rows, and the teeth of the elephant can grow back 6 times. Fact 893, Ghanaian soccer star Ferdi Adobe holds the world record for the most touches of a ball in 30 seconds in the air. In August 2003, he managed 141 touches in 30 seconds during an appearance on the US TV show Today. Fact 894, US law allowed children to be mailed until 1913. Fact 895, the average cloud weighs about 500 tons, the same weight as 80 elephants. Fact 896, a teaspoon of honey is the result of a lifetime of work by 12 bees. Fact 897, did you know that Snickers was named after Frank Marr's favorite horse who belonged to the confectioner's family? Fact 898, the screwdriver was originally invented to pick nails, the screw was invented 100 years later. Fact 899, jellyfish have no brains or blood vessels. Fact 900, there was no word for religion in the language of the ancient Greeks.